Yo, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk. Welcome back, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, who hates stock grinds? Do you hate stock grinds? I hate stock grinds. You know who doesn't hate stock grinds? Fisherman Joe from Clown Babbins in his T54 lightweight. He does not hate stock grinds. You know why? Because he takes his T54 lightweight on its first battle with a 90% crew, completely stock, and he aces it as well as finishes LT15 version 3, the one for the T55. He needs 7,000 damage caused with assistance, or that he does 7,000. Now, in order to do this with honors, he needs to assist in the killing of 4 tanks and win the battle. So he has got the best map, obviously, for this kind of mission. He's sitting here on Malnovka, spawned into the northwest, and he takes up the most obvious bush known to man. So obvious bush is obvious, and he's already racking up some points. He's a little bit off the back edge, not a bad idea right there. Make it a little bit slightly more difficult to hit him. Tiger 2 gets spotted. Old Gen 70 starts to get rocked, and the EBR 75 FL10 is spotted most of the time. The good news is he never gets quite close enough. The JP is spotted. Somebody sees him, probably our hero. Keep that in the back of your mind for just a moment, because that will play into this game in just a few moments here. But we are already at 1,890 spotting. If you are the red team, my recommendation is, when you're getting rocked like this and clearly someone's in the bush, why don't you shoot the bush? Probably a good idea. Maybe for artillery to splash one in there, or to take a couple test shots into the bush. See if you can't drive the scout out. But so far, we have Fisherman Joe has fished himself 1,890. The cool thing about this game, other than it being a stock tank with a 90% crew and finishing LT15 version 3, is he is going to show me a different approach, actually, than I use on this map. So let's watch this. He's being very careful. He's not firing. I think that's a good idea, because there's enough close guys right now. There's so many guns in the game, some of them unaccounted for. Probably somebody up in that bush right there. And the Udez is getting rocked and now runs away. So it's a good idea, at least at the moment, to not fire. You'll see that the Scorpion G is moving up. Now watch what he does right here. Swings the back end of his tank around just in case that Scorpion G gets close enough. Now he's nice and sideways, but the Scorpion G is getting hit. And this is further proof that there is somebody in the bush that Fisherman Joe is in. There's all kinds of proof that someone is in the bush that Fisherman Joe is fishing from. So let's see if that actually has any kind of repercussions for our hero. They are ahead with 1 kill, 2,609 spotting. It's a good start, and it looks like Joe's team is, well, they're not really pushing the hill as well as they probably could. They do have 4 snipers, and that is one of the dangers of being a good spotter in this position. You will tend to draw people where the JP2 and the Scorpion and the FV are looking for those free shots that you're spotting from. The good news, though, the further good news for Joe's team, is the enemy team did not push the hill really at all. They just simply didn't push up the hill, and Joe's team has won it. So they're in a pretty commanding lead. He's got 2,700. Now that's a far cry. Oh, there it is. Remember the JP2 that got spotted? Remember all the guys that took all the damage because Fisherman Joe was sitting in that bush? The JP2 finally had enough and decided to take a test shot. Now the question is, did he really realize he'd hit something or not? That's a good question, and it is unknown answer. You can watch the shell go in, and if you see it hit the ground behind them, then it didn't hit the tank. If it disappears into the bush and you don't see it hit the ground, then you have a good chance of having hit them. But if the shell travels outside of your draw range before it can hit the ground, then you really have no idea. There's a couple things going on right there. The Tiger 2 goes down. We're at 275 and 2,779, so 3,000 combined damage right now. And this is where Fisherman Joe's going to get on his horse, and he's going to change what he's doing, because all the hit points are hanging out up in the Magic Forest up here. So he immediately moves to this first bush, and this was interesting to me. I actually like to try to get this bush at the very beginning, but it is a very high risk, high reward bush. It's difficult to get in, especially when the enemy team was running around with 2 EBR 75 FL10s. Pretty easy for them to come screaming close enough to see you trying to get into that bush. But if you can get into that bush early, man, it can be decisive. So he's going to come through the swamp right here. I thought he was actually going to dive into the water and try to cross, but he thinks better of it. Comes over here where it's an easier crossing. You can see that you don't even get the timer going for the drowning. And he's able to cross here. Now, let's just talk about this for a second, because it was a pretty safe bet based on the M41 being back here and spotting most of what's back in here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, what's it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tanks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Only 1 unaccounted for, and the artillery. So that was probably a pretty safe bet that we can now come into here and start looking to spot a little bit closer. Batchat 25 TAP is making a runner, and Fisherman's going to come up here very carefully. I think I might have poked and dove back down a little bit more than that, but he's going to see this poor 263 is making a runner. Nearly impossible to pin this guy from the front, but from the side much easier. Ends up getting a little bit, I think, some spotting damage here in a moment while that guy's making a runner, but look at all the guns he has behind him as he spots. And there we go. There's a little more, so we're at 3,200. He's going to take a shot himself. Not bad, and we are up to a combined 38, just about. 39, and counting. Remember, this is a stock T-54 lightweight with a 90% crew. You know how we often say, you hear it a lot, that it's the tanker, not the tank? It really is. Now, all else being even, 2 equally skilled players, the guy with the better tank or better crew is going to have an advantage, clearly. But at the end of the day, it's how you play that tank, even while it's stock. And if you play a stock tank well, then you're going to get through that tank much quicker. So he comes around this corner looking for more spotting. He's sitting at 4,400-ish, maybe 4,500, closing in on the 7,000. Now, I did have a video recently in this, basically this same situation, where I pushed into the Magic Forest down there and just started lighting guys up. And there is a point at which he wants to do that, but I think it's not quite now. There's so many enemy guns. He may not last very long. Right now, he's just getting free damage off the poor Leopard PTA, who, to be quite honest, I don't know how he's not seeing him. Perhaps a Leopard PTA does not have a great crew. He decides not to shoot the E75, goes to gold. Not a bad decision, as he's starting to face a little bit more armor in here. Batchat 25 TAP is raging down there, trying to take on a, what, T95 and an AT-15. Takes a hit from Fisherman. Fisherman's going to drop another one on him. Nicely done. Tracks him. There's a little bit more assist. He does get spotted. Just kind of takes a chance sitting in there, but not a bad decision. Nobody's able to shoot him, and they're probably... Oh, there we go. Somebody did take a shot at him. He'll swing back around. And it's about now getting in here pretty close, about where he probably just wants to drive into those guys and start getting some spotting. Because if you'll notice, that big push he's got coming down from the hill, they're all damaged one-shots. And this is where it can be difficult trying to peel guys out of very defensive situations. I like this move right here. Not something I'd necessarily think of, but the EBR was sitting over in this area, so he comes around, finds him, and takes that dude out. And we're up to, what, 6,400? We're very close. But if we look at what else we need, we still need 2 assisted, 2 kills that we assisted in. I'll split it. I will spit it out in a moment. And that will give us with honors. I mean, imagine that. Your first game in a new Tier 9 Scout, you have a 90% crew, and right now you're thinking about, all right, how do I get LT3 with honors done? It's fantastic. It really is. I think I'm going to take a shot. Armor not penetrated. I might have gone for a wheel for that assist, potentially. Dude backs off, and now we are at 7,900. So we've done the main part, right? We're good to go. The main part, we've got our 7,000. We need to assist in the kill for 2. See if somebody might kill this dude. Not quite. There we go. Did that do it? Oh, it looks like it. We're on to 3. And this is where you have to pay attention. Clearly he was paying attention. I want you to watch what he does end game here. And I don't know if even I would have had this SA. I suppose if I was watching it close enough, right? I wondered why he didn't come in here and kill me. Basically, he's just lighting this guy up, waiting for somebody to kill him. There's one hit. There's the second hit. And let's just pause it here because that gave him the 4th kill via assistance, spotting or tracking, and completed it with honors. They won the game. He got his 7,000 combined. He got his 4 kills via assistance and tracking. Stock, this is great, man. Stock LT 54, 90% crew. Dude, well done, man. Well done. That was amazing. Ace Tanker, you got that mission done. First game. Really appreciate you sending in that replay. That was a lot of fun to watch. Nicely done on Malnovka. A new approach. I'd mentioned that earlier. I don't usually come up through the middle like that, but I thought the way he did that based on where the enemy was a really great idea. A lot of times you'll see me flex back around and come all the way back over the top, but he didn't really need to do so based on most of their campers hanging out in there. You know what? Permissive enemy team, yada, 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 got it, but it's not whether you're lucky, it's what you do with it. And in this case, he did a lot with his stock tank. Everybody else, I appreciate it. I hope you learned something in there. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we will see ya.